Welcome to Behind the Line, coming to you from the socialist, Marxist, communist lines of the Pacific Northwest. Today is November 5th, Thursday, 2 days post-election, and what we're going to talk about today is the King County Sheriff's Office. The voters voted to take away the election of a King County Sheriff and place that with the County Council, who will now decide and appoint a sheriff in King County instead of allowing the voters to elect a sheriff. Every county in the state of Washington votes to elect a sheriff because the sheriff works for the people, not the government. And apparently the people of King County have felt that it's in their best interest to let several people on a radical county council decide who the sheriff will be and what their duties will be. And specifically, it was King County Charter Amendment 5 and 6. Charter 5 is the measure to return the sheriff to an appointed position rather than an elected position. It passed by 56%. And no was 43.97%. Amendment 6 allows the council to change the duties of the sheriff and potentially decrease the duties of the sheriff. And this amendment passed by 62% to the no votes of 37%. It blows my mind that people would vote to take away their ability to vote for anything. I mean, why are you taking away your ability to vote for anything that you could have control over and handing that over to politicians to decide for you? I guess looking at this, it's just this ballot measure just sort of encompasses the whole thought process that goes on for most people who live in King County, that feel like, I don't know if they don't want the responsibility or they just think they're too stupid to decide these things. They just put all their eggs into government and just believe that government is going to do whatever's best for them and protect them. And I mean, boy, you look at the way governments ran around here, it surprises me. There's so much mismanagement and things that aren't done right, and yet here we have people continuing to trust that the government knows best. I don't get it. Now, the current sheriff, Mitzi Johannick, she actually spoke out against this back in July. She said that this county ordinance was going to cause a lack of transparency, and I think she's absolutely right. She said voters want a fully independent sheriff who is free to take bold action on reforms and represent all of the communities and interests of our diverse constituency. And I think she's absolutely right. Now you've got a situation where whoever happens to be on the council, and currently now it's mostly radicals, much like the Seattle City Council, and they're going to politicize this position. They're going to put somebody in there who's going to do exactly what they say and run that place like they want. And the current the current situation in King County is they're wanting to decriminalize and defund law enforcement and decriminalize most crimes and not prosecute and not have a jail and not have a juvenile center. And so this is going to continue now with the law enforcement people, and you're going to have crime skyrocketing, and you're going to have prosecutions not happening and more criminals on the street and less safety. Even the Seattle Times, which is a very liberal newspaper, recommended to keep the county sheriff an elected position. I mean, that right there should tell you something. I mean, I don't know why folks would want to give up their right to make this decision. The Times makes the point that there are 16 cities and agencies right now, including cities from Woodinville to SeaTac, that pay the sheriff's office to police their streets, cover much of the department's annual budget, etc. But putting that policing under a left-leaning county executive and council, which you just did, it may prompt some of these contract cities to leave the sheriff's office and create their own police departments, which would cause a major budget crisis at the sheriff's office. Now, looking at the Progressive Voters Guide, when they talk about Amendment 5, they claim that the sheriff's office only polices less than a quarter of King County, which I'm sorry, that's a total lie. That's incorrect. The sheriff's office actually patrols the majority of King County, as most of these small cities in King County, and they have areas of even the downtown area of Seattle that they patrol. That's a complete falsification there, what they say about that. And then, of course, they state how elected sheriffs can only be removed from office by election or a recall, which is extremely rare and challenging, as it should be. If somebody's elected, then they're elected to that position. And guess what? If you don't like them, when the next election comes up, you vote them out. But, of course, under Amendment 5, an appointed sheriff could just be replaced on the whim of the county executive and council. So you've got people that you're going to have running law enforcement who, if they don't do what they're told, they're gone. So what kind of decisions do you think they're going to be making? Are decisions that are best for the people, or decisions that are best to keep their job? And of course, now they're going to be bringing in all their community leaders and psychiatrists and social people and people who know nothing about law enforcement to help decide who the sheriff will be and what their duties will be. So folks, at the end of the day, King County and Seattle have got a lot of problems coming when it comes to crime and law enforcement and incarceration, because you've got these councils, city and county, that are voting to defund and change the scope of law enforcement. And yes, there needs to be changes, but they need to be supplemental changes. You're taking away officers off the streets so that there's not enough people to handle what's going on right now. You're taking away prosecution and incarceration, so there's no fear of repercussions or responsibility for your actions if you choose to break the law. And I really don't know what the majority of voters in King County are thinking, but I have a feeling in the next year or two, you're going to be getting a big wake-up call and wondering why you did what you did. So it'll be interesting to sit back and watch. That's all I know. If you live in King County or Seattle, I would suggest that you start thinking about moving someplace safe, because it's not going to be. So until next time, folks, have a good one.